The Andes mountain range, the Rocky Mountains of South America. Hidden away between two of the Andes peaks lies Caracoles, a pueblo, a little village in western central Bolivia. Bolivia, a country with no outlet to the sea, hemmed in, the poorest country in the Americas after Haiti. Bolivia, a country which survives thanks to its agriculture and its mines. Here at an altitude of nearly 5,000 meters, the height of Mont Blanc in France, 5.5 times higher than Mont Tremblant in Quebec, 180 miners relentlessly hack away at the mountain, tearing out its remaining tin. Gabriela is 17 years old. She lives with Teodoro, a young miner. Every day, she too climbs up to the mine in search of a small amount of tin. Gabriela and Teodoro belong to a small miners' cooperative, one among the 500 such co-ops in Bolivia. They have neither job security nor fringe benefits, not even a steady income. Teodoro is 23. He works by hand, 10 to 12 hours a day to the point of exhaustion. Augustina is Teodoro's mother. She tries to survive by searching among the rocks for what little tin may have been missed by the men. In Caracoles, only the men cross the threshold down into the mine. There, most will never find riches, but often death. Augustina is 43. It was here in Caracoles that she grew up, was married, and raised her family. 11 children all told during 24 years of marriage. When she got married, Augustina was only slightly older than her daughter Maria. It was a marriage without romance, a sensible marriage. She wasn't even 16 years old.
My father gave me to this man. There were 3 of us girls, and he wasn't well. He couldn't provide for us anymore. That's probably the reason why he gave all of us away.
Augustina's husband died 5 years ago. She found herself alone with 2 young children and pregnant with a third, little Laura. Worried about his mother, one of the older sons agreed to compromise his own future. Teodoro came back to work in the mine.
I have a responsibility towards her, because she is my mother, you know? It's my duty to look after her. Wherever she is, I have a duty to be at her side.
Teodoro moved in right near his mother's house. It's a little house resembling all the others. 2 unheated rooms, no electricity, open to the piercing cold and humidity. Next, Teodoro found work. In Caracoles, there is only one profession, mining, with the daily obligation of climbing up to the site.
No.
7 days a week, Teodoro has to disappear down into these mine shafts, which have no ventilation, trusting his life to makeshift ladders. And all for what? an average of $180 a month, which is only half as much as 3 years ago. In 1986, the government shut down its unprofitable mines. The cooperatives then took over. Teodoro and his colleagues know only too well that these mines are almost empty. But what choice do they have? The unemployed number in the thousands. It's better, perhaps, to remain here, stubbornly searching for a vein where government engineers gave up, though risking your neck in the process.
We risk our lives working in the mine here. You can fall down into a shaft, but even more dangerous is the blasting. Sometimes it's hard to get away. You have to climb down a rope, but the fuse can burn too quick and boom. A lot of times, too, when we set the charge, we do it by hand. It can go off in your face.
¿Probamos? Sí, vamos. ¡Tiro!
It was a real blow to me when my father died. He really meant a lot, you know? He helped us. He allowed us to go to school, all kinds of things. When he died, everything fell apart. I was really hurt. He was gone. You can't bring someone back when they're dead, right? It's not easy for a son to lose his father, you know? He loved me a lot, too. Maybe that's why.
For the past 5 years, Agustina has had to struggle on all alone, raising her youngest children, doing the housework, and at the same time earning her living at the mine. She never wanted to remarry.
Another father can never be like the real father. It just can't be. He could never love my children. Someone else, another man, couldn't love my children the same way their real father did. So that's that. Never became. I've got to hang on, at least until these little ones have grown up.
Growing up, even that is a major challenge here. In Bolivia, 4 out of 10 children suffer from malnutrition. In some regions, children can get bread and milk at dispensaries subsidized by international aid groups. Caracoles, however, is far from everything. The village has neither a doctor nor even a nurse. Here, 1 out of every 2 children dies before the age of 5.
I've lost 4 deaths. And 7 still living. 4 are dead. In the evening they were fine, but then in the morning they were dead. I don't know what was wrong with them, but that's what happened. I had them buried.
How did you live through such a thing?
Sometimes with sadness, but sometimes not. I said to myself, it's lucky he died, because I had so many children. Sometimes you feel relieved, sort of. Other times, we'd say with tears, our son is dead.
In Caracoles, it is not only the children who are haunted by the specter of death. The life expectancy of a miner is 35 years. It was from breathing this dust caused by the blasting that Teodoro's father died, condemned by silicosis, his lungs completely blocked. Now, his son takes his place, aware of the risks he's running.
I had other dreams, but maybe life's like that. I couldn't achieve the dreams that would give me wings. Like doing what exactly? At least by becoming a teacher, you know? At least that. But my real dream was to become a doctor. Pretty crazy, eh? Well, that's the way it is.
In Caracoles, the men learn at an early age to put their dreams on hold. The women, too, for that matter. Maria is Teodoro's sister. If the girl's prospects for the future remain as they are now, by age 20, Maria will have 4 or 5 children, which she risks having to raise alone. In Caracoles, the men often abandon women they'd never really married in the first place, as they couldn't afford the cost of the celebration. If Maria follows the usual route, she too will leave school in the 6th grade and will leave home when she's about 14 or 15 years old. This was the story for her sister-in-law Gabriela, who came to live with Teodoro because she knew him and was in love with him, but also, of course, because she had no other choice. Why are you so unhappy?
I don't know what to say. It was really hard for me at my mother's, and it was hard for her too. It was maybe to make things easier for her that she got rid of me. She hurt me a lot. Maybe because she couldn't take anymore. My mother's not working. She just helps people out. She does knitting. That's how she gets enough to feed my little brothers. It was maybe to have one less mouth to feed. She had to get me out.
What's important is that we love each other too.
To be in love and to have children, but fewer than their parents had, even though the state itself is in favor of large families. Development agents have informed the women of Caracoles about contraceptive methods, but it's a delicate issue. The men here do not easily accept anyone meddling in their bedroom affairs, and even less that a woman refuse the advances of her husband, whether she's ovulating or not.
No, it's impossible that she'd have the right to say no to her husband. You know what I mean. No, it just doesn't happen.
So what happens if she does say no?
What happens is she'll get a beating then. No? It only makes for more problems. That's why the women all have 6 or 7 children, sometimes as many as 13.
Teodoro is one of the new generation of men. He most certainly wants children, but fewer in number, 2 and no more.
Life is so expensive. You have to take everything into account. It's not just a matter of having them for the sake of having them. There's a lot of danger in the mine, and I want to get away from it as soon as I can. If I could have some kind of business, anything, just so long as I don't have to work in the mine, some kind of business that could support me and my family, you know?
We can't have children either, just so they'll end up suffering like us. They've got to be better off and able to make something of their lives.
I'm going to make it. I'll do whatever it takes. Because I have to succeed, whatever the cost.
What would you consider to be a better life?
If there was a little joy, miss. It's a dream I have sometimes. I dream of being happy. That's what I think about.